So let's make it official. Welcome, right? Welcome to the Make It Happen Mastermind. And the whole, you're going to be the judge of this. Okay. You're going to be judge of this. The whole essence of our time together today is by the time you leave, you will have a deeper level of honesty, a deeper level of clarity, a deeper level of passion, know exactly where the support is that you need, with a deeper level of energy to go and make it happen. Whatever it is that you want to work on. You're going to be the judge of that at the end, and I will send you check it all the way through, but that's the aim. And like I've said, it's different to a Facebook training. We're going to do the work together. I'm going to guide you through things, not just explain what things are, but actually do the work. That's the difference between this and other things that I've done. So that's kind of where we're going to be going. And what I wanted to say is, if you're here, it means you're in the minority. And by that, I mean that most people, if you've seen my pre-trainings on the River of Life, everyone's belting down the River of Life, all 8 billion of us. And most people are hoping, wishing, praying, dreaming that things are going to get better, that things are going to be different, that things are going to improve or change, or that they're going to experience or achieve that thing. But they're not actually doing anything in their day-to-day to actually make that happen. And I say that with love, right? I say it with love because I was like that for like 20 years in the financial services industry. So 20 years in that industry, but I knew I didn't really belong. I didn't really fit in, and some of it didn't quite gel with some of my values, especially as I climbed that ladder. But I just hoped, wished, and prayed that something would happen that would make it better. And it doesn't. It's just not how life works. But we can get caught up in that trap. But what we're doing is we're just giving away all our power. Right? We're saying, hey, I hope the management is different, or the company is different, or the economy is different, or the government changes, or we put all our faith in all the external stuff that's out of our control to somehow be different, that's going to make a positive impact on our life. And it doesn't work like that. You've just given away all your power. You've got more control over that. But we got to put the work in. And, Einstein says definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And this is kind of what I did for a long time. But it's also what I witness a lot of people doing. Most people, I haven't done the survey, most people on the planet, they want this thing, they want it to be different, but they're not actually doing anything towards it. And expecting a different result. So we don't want that. And I know that that's not you because you're here. So when I say you're in the minority, you're in the small group of people that say, I want things to be different. I want things to change. I want to improve things or achieve things, experience things. There's something I want to work on, and I'm willing to actually put in the work to make it happen. And right now, I might not know all the steps. I might not know how I'm going to do it. I might not even know how long it's going to take, but I'm willing to put the work in. And so that makes you different to the majority that are just hoping that it's going to work out. I'm going to let Nick in now. Does that make sense? Just first off? Yeah? Here we go. Come on in, Nick. Ooh, that's exciting. And you let somebody in the room and they're not there. There we go. Hey there, Nick. Welcome. Welcome. You don't have to be shy, but you can be shy if you want to be. No worries. Simon's here. Phil's here. I'm here. We've just kicked off. We're just doing the intro, just getting started. There's Nick sliding in to join us. Well done. You made it. I know it's been a bit hectic this morning for you. So, thank you for being here. And look, you haven't missed the big stuff. So we're just setting the scene, and I was just basically stroking your ego a little bit to say you're in the minority of people that actually want things to change, want things to be different, and you're also doing something about it. You want to put the work in, whereas the majority of people, in my experience, they're hoping, wishing, dreaming that things could be different, that things can improve, change. They want to experience things, but they're not actually doing anything in their day-to-day life to make that happen. And as I just said, that the definition of insanity from Einstein is doing the same thing over and again and expecting a different result. So this isn't you. And yes, it's stroking your ego, but I think you need to also understand that, because you might be sat there going, yeah, but this is just how I am, Martin. Of course, I'm going to learn stuff and reach out and experience stuff. But I can tell you now, you're in the minority. And that's important for you to know. So I love being around people like you that are making it happen, want to make it happen, and are willing to learn stuff and learn stuff from other people like myself. So thank you for being here. I don't take that lightly. I don't take your time lightly. So we're going to make the most of your time today. So that's where we're at with all of that. You're here. Now, before we get into the 4 steps, because the 4 steps, we're going to complete them. Right? So I'm not just going to tell you what they are, bring them to life for you. You're going to do the work and actually complete them. You come in knowing what the 4 steps are, because there's no secret. I've shared these four things in my newsletter. I've shared them in Facebook trainings. I've shared them on Reels, on social media. The 4 steps are honesty, clarity, passion, and support. Right? Honesty, clarity, passion, and support. Those are the 4 steps. But there is a huge difference between knowing what the steps are and actually doing them, and doing them to the depth required that they actually make a difference to you. So that's why we're here. And this is why doing it like this is better than is that next level of immersion up from, say, a Facebook training or a one-way type of training. So that's that's where we're at. And when we want to work on something, you've all got something you want to work on, right? You've got something in mind. It would be a different mastermind if you don't have something, because then we could identify what that is. We've all got something. Generally, we've all got something we want to improve or change, achieve, or experience. That's my kind of definition. Like when I say work on, it usually fits into those 4 categories. We could probably do a lot of work to do nuances, but it generally feels like it's that. So the thing that you want to work on, before we do the 4 steps, let's just talk about beliefs, what you've got to believe in order to make it happen. And this comes out of something that one of my mentors taught me years ago. And I call it the 3 pillars of belief. Because if you want to work on something, just first off, do you think it might be useful if you thought it was possible? Right? It'd be useful to believe that it's going to be possible if you're going to work on it. And that might sound kind of like, well, of course, Martin. Yeah, but there are people that work on stuff that they don't believe is possible. And as soon as you've got any doubt about it, guess what's going to happen at the first sign of trouble? You're going to give up. So this is one of the 3 pillars. The 3 pillars are that you've got to believe that it's out there. So the thing that you want to change, improve, achieve, experience, it's out there to be improved, changed, experienced, or achieved. The second pillar is that it's possible. You've got to believe it's possible. As I said, if you don't believe that it's possible, as soon as it starts taking a little longer than you'd like, as soon as life kind of knocks you, you're going to start doubting. Your brain will go, told you it wasn't possible. And you'll start giving up, even subconsciously. And so you've got to believe it's possible. And the third pillar is you've got to believe it's worthwhile. And again, this sounds so obvious, but I tell you what, how often have you, or do you know somebody that spend a lot of time and effort on something that quite frankly just was not worthwhile? Right? The return just was not there for the effort that was put in. And because it sounds simple, but I found that these 3 pillars are actually quite useful to sense check, because our time and our energy are our most powerful resources, our most limited resources. So we want to use them in the best way. So if we're not using it on stuff that we think is possible, if we're working on stuff that we don't think is going to be worthwhile, then I got to challenge you. What the heck are you doing? Right? Choose something else. Life's short. Let's be intentional and deliberate with our time and make sure it's the stuff that's worthwhile. So those 3 pillars, I believe, are really helpful. And the stuff that we're going to do in a moment, the 4 steps, it kind of feeds into that. So does that make sense in terms of the 3 pillars? You've got to believe it's out there. You've got to believe that it's possible. And you've got to believe that it's going to be worthwhile. And any chink in that armor your brain is going to go, is looking for a way out. It's going to gather the evidence to go, told you. So we want to kind of shut that down and go in with real certainty, which can be tricky, I know, but we got to believe it. And I found that these things are really, really useful. Now, just before we do the 4 steps, I'm going to bring it to life for you with a story. One of my favorite stories that really cements this whole 3 pillars of belief. And it's, I don't know if you know of a little known animator called Walt Disney. I mean, you might have heard of him, right? You might have heard of him. He did all right for himself. So back in the day, Walt Disney, he'd had some success with some cartoons and some movies. And then he had this big, bold idea, right? This big, bold idea of building a place where families could come and immerse themselves in the worlds that he had created. And admittedly, nobody else had seen anything like that, because it was just fun fairs and little things like that up to this point. But he had this big vision, and he was obviously passionate about it. And that vision is Disneyland in California. Now, the thing that he lacked, though, was the money. So he didn't have the support. He'd been doing well, but in terms of that project, it was extraordinarily expensive. So he needed funding. So he needed to go to the banks to get the money. And so Walt Disney, he's on the up. No, that's a safe bet, right? It's big vision. It's like, wow, amazing. I do like part of the story that on the Friday before he was going to see the bank on the Monday, one of his inner circle turned around and said, you know what, Walt, bankers haven't got much imagination. You're going to have to bring it to life for them. And he's like, well, thanks for telling me at the last minute. How the heck are we supposed to do that? I can't bring a massive model into the bank. What am I going to do? And so he got one of his artists to draw a map of Disneyland, like really detailed map, a huge map. And I get a buzz because I've told this story for years. But last year, my family and I went to the Disney 100 exhibition in London, so celebrating their 100th anniversary, and it's got loads of memorabilia and from the archives. And in one of the sections was the map on the wall, and it is huge and it is incredibly detailed, and it does genuinely bring it all to life. But this animator whipped that up in a weekend, as you do, as you do, because that's how they roll, right? And so anyway, on the Monday, Walt goes off to the bank, map underarm, massive passion, massive clarity about what this is and the vision, and goes to the first bank, turns him down. Second bank turns him down. Third bank turns him down. Fifth bank turns him down. 10th bank turns him down. Now, at this point, ask yourself, how many people give up before they've done something 10 times? Right? I mean, I was in a meeting with a company last month, and we were kind of talking about this. And one of the chaps said, yeah, it's like when you do a webinar and you do 3 webinars and they don't work, so we don't do it anymore. I was like, what, 3? Right? Well, what have you learned? What have you changed? Who was the audience? Right? What was the timing? What was the message? Well, like, there were so many things that you can refine. It's like, yeah, we gave it a go 3 times and then gave up. What? Well, here's Walt. 10 banks have turned him down for this amazing vision. So what have you got to believe to continue? You've got to believe it's out there. You've got to believe it's possible. If only somebody can give him the money, it's possible. And you know it's going to be worth it. It's going to just change how families are entertained, right? 20 banks turn him down, 40 banks, 50 banks, 100 banks, 150 banks, 250 banks. 300 banks turn Walt Disney down. 300 banks. What have you got to believe to keep going after 300 banks? How many people would have given up? I don't know what it is that you want to work on, but this whole, I got to believe it's out there. I've got to believe it's possible. I've got to believe it's worth it. And then us looking at going, let's get really honest and get really clear about this and get really passionate about this. And let's identify the support that can help us. This is what Walt Disney had, because who the heck keeps going after 300 banks? Most people will give up. But if this is really important for you, if you've gone deep on what it is, what it's going to mean to you, then you're going to keep going. But the reason that we do this, I've been doing it at this point of the year, is because a lot of people come into the new year with an intention, but by the second Friday of January, 80% of New Year's resolutions have gone by the wayside. They haven't even started. By the end of January, the rest of them have mostly gone by the wayside. And for those, they've like dibbled and dabbled, but not the consistency. By the time you get to February, you've got some people that have been doing really well, but the momentum's fading because it's not new and shiny and exciting anymore. It's just like a routine. It's like, well, what have you got to believe? You know, how long did it take Walt to go to 300 bank? If he did a bank a day, right? 300 days. He probably thought it, he went in thinking, well, it's probably a done deal. I'll probably get this done in a week or two. But what have we got to believe? I want that kind of depth for you. Let's call it the Walt Disney philosophy, right? 300 banks. Now, Walt, he was willing to do 1,000 banks because he believed in it so much, but he didn't need to, because on the 301st bank, they lent him the money, and the rest is history. Because he didn't give up. And he went into the depth, and he learned with every meeting that he went, he refined it and made sure that, it was absolutely spot on. And that 301st bank lent him the money, and they actually went on to lend him the money for countless projects over the then coming decades. Right? I mean, bravo for Walt Disney, right? I love that story. It's perseverance, it's hunger, it's drive, but a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't even get started with that, let alone have that to keep them going no matter what, because we don't know how long things are going to take. And time is one of the things that, it bugs me. I can be pretty impatient at times. So when things are taking a little longer, it's like, oh, but I got to remind myself, no, it's worth it. It's worth it. So let's keep going. So has that brought that to life for you? That the understanding of belief and the importance of belief. We got that? Yeah. Hey, Phil. Yeah.
This is one of my top phrases from Walt Disney.
Walt Disney. How about that?
It's kind of fun to do the impossible.
It is.
One of his sayings. Walt Disney.
I love it. There you go. You were meant to be here.
Talking about him.
Yeah.
That's one of my passions.
I've actually got that quote with a picture of him and the castle in my office upstairs.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant. Because he did do the impossible. It felt like that. But when you believe in something so much, when you've got that crystal clear clarity, it's not impossible. You just need to connect the dots. You just need the right support, the right people in your corner to then go and make it happen. Right? That's what that is about. So I love that spirit. And so that's belief. And so I wanted to share that before we do the 4 steps, because I think that's really important. And you can sense check this. Hopefully you've got that for the thing that you want to work on. I mean, you believe it's out there, you believe it's possible, you believe it's worthwhile, right? You get some nods, right? Whatever it is you want to work on, yeah? If not, we want to challenge that. But I tell you what, you could challenge some other stuff that you work on, or have a look at what other people are working on, and just see whether those three things exist. Because if they don't, you can just like, okay, challenge that. I either need to do the work to make that possible, to up my confidence and certainty levels, or I might want to go and spend my time doing something else. Okay. So that, my friends, is belief. And what I would say, especially on the thing of, is it possible? Unless you are doing something a little bit like Walt Disney, but unless you are doing something that nobody in the history of the world has ever done before, it's possible because somebody else has already done it, or somebody has at least done a version of it in the vicinity of what you're working on. And this is where success leaves clues. So Jim Rohn, really famous personal development trainer, he was Tony Robbins's mentor, and then Tony became my mentor. Very wisdomous guy, but he says success leaves clues. So if somebody's already done something, go and learn from them, right? Don't try and figure it out yourself. It's going to take you inordinate amounts of time to figure it out yourself. And there's going to be more trial, error, pain, suffering, frustration. Save yourself that. I'm not saying it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows, but learn from them so that you can go quicker. So why would you try and figure it out yourself? But I must admit, at what point in our adult life do we stop asking for help? Right? Sometimes I think we feel like we need to know all the answers, and I fell into that trap certainly early on. And it doesn't help if you're in environments where that's kind of the culture. So for 20 years, I was in the financial services industry, and the companies that I worked with, asking for help was kind of seen as a weakness. And you could be marked down in your performance review if there was weaknesses. And if you got marked down, then there'd be no pay rise, there'd be no bonus, and you'd be the next one out in the restructure that's happening just around the corner. 6 to 18 months, every 6 to 18 months for 20 years, there was a restructure. So asking for help, saying, I don't actually know the answer to this, was kind of a weakness. It felt like a weakness. But I had to snap out of that, because when I came out of that environment, and then it was like personal development, and I just want to be better and do better, I want to help other people. It's like, great, I have crazy ideas. And I go, right, who can help me? It just frees you up. It's a great way to live, right? Well, who am I to have all the answers? I don't even have all the questions, right? And that's one of my mantras. I don't have all the answers. I don't even have all the questions. Live by that, and you're like, I'm okay to ask for help. That's why you're here anyway, right? You're here because you want to learn some stuff. So that's kind of where we're at. Beliefs all make sense. All good. We're good with Walt Disney. We're good with the philosophy. Excellent. Cool. Let's do some work, shall we? Let's get into some steps. Just like shake it off a little bit. Let's have a quick drink. Good stuff. Right. So the first step is honesty. Okay. And it's like, what's that all about then, Martin? Think of it like your sat nav, your GPS, your Google Maps. You want to go on a journey, you need a starting point. Honesty is your starting point. And what I mean by this, and as this comes alive for you, write your stuff down. Okay. So it's just better use of time then, rather than me doing it all and then giving you 5 minutes quiet time. So when it comes into your head, write this stuff down. What I want you to get honest about is your current situation. So having not done the thing that you want to improve, change, achieve, experience, the thing you want to work on, the place where you're at now, what are the emotions attached to not doing that yet? And I'll bring that to life for you. But honesty is really important, because there are some people that sometimes they might be a little bit embarrassed where they're at, or they're ashamed, or there's just a little bit of emotion there, and they'll kind of pretend that they're maybe 10 miles down the road. And there are other people that life kind of feels really tough, and there's a lot of emotion there, and it makes them feel like they're 10 miles behind. But when you kind of strip away the emotions, it's like, actually, you're here. And I never take anybody's emotions away. It's like your emotions are your reality. But when you can just kind of calm the emotions a little bit and kind of accept maybe what's going on, you actually unveil the facts. You actually realize that you're here. And especially for people who feel like they're 10 miles back, they're just really hard on themselves. Let's be honest, we're all our own worst critics, right? And it can feel tough, but actually they don't give themselves enough credit. They're a bit further down the road than they expected. I don't know whether that's you, but I just want to sense check that that's why honesty is really important, because the steps from 10 miles back are going to be different to the steps that you need to take right now. The steps that are 10 miles ahead of you that you need to take are going to be different to the steps you need to take right now. So that's why you need to be honest. Otherwise, you're going to be taking the wrong steps. And if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with other people. And you're honest people. I know you guys, you're honest people. But this is really important. So what I want you to do is look at what are the emotions around the current situation. Because what we're going to do is we're lighting the fire. These are flames, right? We're going to fan the flames of the fire to get you moving, because you need that. Let me bring this to life. Whatever comes to mind to you, just keep writing it down. If somebody wants to improve or change something, very often it's because there's some discontent, right? They don't like where they're at. They don't like what this thing is. And we're talking about anything. It could be their health. It can be their personal relationships. It can be their finances, their well-being. It can be something in business. But there's usually a little bit of, oh. So very often in those cases, there's frustration. It can cause stress. It can cause overwhelm. It can cause anxiety. And very often that spills out, not just out of you, but into your family and your friends. So again, I don't know what it is for you, but I'm bringing it to life that very often if there's something that we want to change or improve, then there might be some of that. I want you to feel that. I want you to write that down and go, yeah, actually, I am quite frustrated with that. No, there's not enough money in the bank. I want more money in the bank. And it's frustrating because I can't do this and I can't do that. And it limits it. And I can't take my wife out for a meal or whatever it is. It's like, what's the frustration there? Now, what I will say is it doesn't have to be totally frustrating, right? The world doesn't need to be falling apart because you can actually be living pretty well and you just want to make a change or you want to experience something at the next level. This is great. I love helping people that are living a good level of life, but they just now want more. And more isn't, people get a little bit shy about wanting more. It's like, no. It doesn't mean you're not grateful for what you got. You can be grateful for everything. You've got air in your lungs, blood in your veins, and life is relatively good. You've got so much to be grateful for, but that doesn't mean you don't want more out of life. We've got a short time on this earth. Let's make the most of it and experience the most of life, right? But a lot of people actually go, well, a little bit embarrassed because actually life's kind of good. It's like, yeah, life's good. Be grateful for that. But if there's more that you want to experience, let's go for it. Let's make it happen. So in that situation, what often drives people is, well, if I don't give this a go, I'm going to regret it. And I really want to give, I don't want to be in a year's time going, oh, I wish I'd give that a go. Or dare I say on your deathbed going, I wish I'd made that happen. I just got in my head or I listened to the naysayers and maybe I didn't think it was possible, but really it was. I just needed to focus on it. I don't want to live with that regret. So some people have got that, and that kind of vision drives me. I don't want regret. I'm on my seventh chance of life. I do. I see the world and life, different to many people, and I'm not willing to live with that regret, and certainly die with that regret. So sometimes it's about tapping into that. And I know those are quite strong emotions. It doesn't have to be that way though. It can also be excitement. So if you're there going, right, I want this new thing in the next level, I'm excited about that. I'm proud that I'm able to make that happen and I'm going to give it my all. And it's inspirational and I'm motivated to do it. Whatever the emotions are that you've got attached in your current situation associated with this thing, we want to capture those now because this is kind of, it's like I don't know if you've heard this in terms of like marketing. They say some people are driven by pain and some people are driven by pleasure. And the pain is a lot of what I just talked about. It's like I want to move away from this situation or I want to improve it from where it is. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to light the fire. If we haven't got a fire to go, then if we haven't got fire in our belly to make it happen, what are we doing? If we haven't got any emotion attached to it, what are we doing? We're not going to really make it happen, are we? So this is what we're trying to do. Just what are the emotions you can tap into to go, right, enough's enough. I am going to make this happen, right? Because this has consequences if I don't in the present, but it might have consequences in the past. And it might not just have consequences on me, but it might have consequences on my family as well, or my business, or whatever it is that you're looking at. So you want to really tap into that. So we've got the fire. So because the pain thing is you're trying to kind of move away from the pain. The pleasure thing that the people talk about, I'm attracted to the pleasure, is like, that's the next step. That's clarity. That's the vision. That's the exciting thing. And a lot of people say it's one or the other, but I think you might be lean towards one or the other. I prefer to be pushed by pain or drawn to pleasure. But in my experience, you need both. It's no good running away from your current situation or improving your current situation, having no clue where you're going and not getting excited about where you're going. And equally, it's no good having a great vision, but having really no motivation whatsoever, no emotion attached to your current situation to actually go and make it happen. So we kind of need both. And the beautiful thing is when you've got both, they work in tandem and they make you do that, right? You haven't just got one pushing you and it's like, oh, or one's kind of trying to attract you. You've got both that are working for you. You're being pushed and pulled at the same time, more likely to make it happen. So honesty is all about that, your emotions and your current situation. Did that make sense? Have you got something that you can tap into that gives you that, right, yes, I'm going to go make this happen at a slightly deeper level? You got that, everybody? I know you're writing. I'm going to give you some time. That's okay. I'm going to take a drink. What you're going to find is that emotion is quite important. It's important in steps 1, 2, and 3, but it's different types of emotion for different reasons. And it's when you bring them all together, that's when you get the, what I call the rocket fuel that really helps you make it happen. You got some, we good? I'm loving the beaver in a way, right? Nick's good, feels good. Simon's still writing, excellent work. It's okay. I want to give you this. I want to give you the space and time to do it. Yeah, we have only got 90 minutes, but I want to give you the space and time to write this stuff down rather than going, right, oh yeah, honesty is the right step and this is what it means. And then afterwards, you're going, so what was that? And then applying it. This is why we're doing it like this, so that you apply it and you've got these, you complete the steps, right? So you now have the fire, right? That's exciting. The fire, is that, I don't know if that's a good analogy. That's my flames of fire, right? So you got the fire now to go, right, I want to make it happen. That's honesty, right? The second, and because I don't want you to, especially if the emotions are kind of like stress or overwhelm or frustration or anger or anything like that. I don't want you to stay there, right? This is why we then go on to step 2 to go, hey, clarity, because this is really, really exciting, right? We're going to move away from this situation, but we need to be clear about where the heck it is we're going. So again, the sat nav situation, it's no good having your starting point and having no destination, right? It can't plan the route. So here's the thing about clarity, though, and we're good. We've got no questions. We're okay to move on to clarity. Just sense checking. We're good, right? Cool. Right. Here's the thing about clarity. If there is a secret, this is it. Okay. Clarity is not about the thing. The thing. Whatever it is that you want to work on, the clarity is not about the thing. It is about the experience and the outcome that the thing is going to enable. And this is really, really important. And so what I want you to do is I want you to be describing when you've achieved this thing or changed this thing, improved this thing, experienced this thing. I want you to describe what is life like? How does life feel? What's your daily life like? How does it imbue you with massive confidence? Are you looking back at with pride of the journey that you've been on and what you've had to go through in order to make that happen? What does your day-to-day life look like? And I want you to attach the emotions to that. Again, you've got to feel that, right? Because we want to be drawn towards it. And let me bring this to life for you. The difference between the thing and the experience, right? So you can keep writing whatever it is for you, but I'll give you a couple of examples, really important. So the first one was a dad that I was working with, and at face value, the thing was wanting to work on his fitness. Oh, a lot of people come into the new year with, I want to work on my fitness. But as I always say, I want to get fit never inspired anybody in the history of the world to actually get fit. Like, it's not. So we had to go deeper. We went into more clarity, right? Okay, but what does that mean, right? And here's the depth at which the clarity came for him. I want to get fit, right? Well, actually, it was, well, look, I want to actually get fit because I want to run around the garden with my children. I had young children. And I want to run around and I want to swing them around and throw them up in the air and catch them and play with them without getting out of breath and pulling a hamstring. You're saying at the moment, I get out of breath after 2 minutes and I feel terrible. Right? This is ridiculous. I want to be able to keep up with my kids and I want to have that experience. It's like, I can understand that, right? I want to get fit versus that. That is love. That is connection. That is experience. That is priceless memories. But he didn't stop there. He said, but what I actually want is I want the type of fitness. I want to build the type of fitness that when they're like teenagers and they get older and they're into sports and stuff, I want to be able to go and play football with them or hockey or basketball and not get out of breath after 2 minutes and go, oh, sorry, daddy's done. I want to be able to experience that with them and help them and even like show them how to do it. That's what I want. And actually, he wanted a more active lifestyle with his family. So he was then planning ahead, going, and I want to take him on camping trips, and I want to take him kayaking, and I want to take him climbing, I want to take him on walks up the hills and the mountains. And he had this like vision of this active lifestyle with his children when they were older. But I need the level of fitness in order to make that happen. I need to build the level of fitness to make that happen, because I don't want to have these great ideas and then go, actually, I'm not fit enough to do that. So they then don't do it. Or for him, it was even worse, was them going off and doing it and him having to sit out because he didn't have the fitness. Like, this is the stuff that haunted him. And he's like, that's the clarity, that's the experience I want. But I tell you what, it didn't end there. Because he said, I want to build the sort of fitness that when my kids grow up, bearing in mind his kids are little, right? At the time we were speaking, they were little. He said, I want the sort of fitness that when they've grown up and they're having kids of their own and they're the grandchildren, that I can do all of what I've just described with you with the grandchildren. I want to be the granddad that's taking them on camping trips and going on wild adventures and can keep up with them. And I'm the active grandpa. That's the vision, right? I mean, I got goosebumps. Think about it. It's like that versus I want to get fit, right? Doesn't even compare, right? You've got a whole experience and he's planned that out. That's decades, right? I don't know what it is for you, but that kind of depth, that kind of meaning, that kind of emotion, is he more likely to make that happen versus if he had just thought, well, I just want to get a bit fitter, right? Second Friday of January, that I want to get fitter is gone by the wayside, right? But you lock in some fire about the pain that he's got at the moment because he just feels terrible that he can't keep up with them and he's not being the dad that he wants to be. And then that vision of, and that's the lifestyle I want. Those are the opportunities and experience I want to give my children and the family, and we all do this together. It's like that. Oh yeah, that. Does that make sense? Like, I give you that as like that's the depth of clarity. I'll give you another one, and it's a financial one, because some people want to make more money, for example, in their business or in their own personal bank account. Here's something. One of my friends wanted to make £1 million, right? And a lot of people might have a figure in mind that they might want to make in their business or in their personal bank account. She wanted to make £1 million in her personal bank account. And fair play to her, she did it. Fair play. She did it. And she literally saw the bank account tick over with the extra zero, right? What a moment, right? Wow. Imagine what she had to do in order to make that possible. And it was the most emptiest feeling she's ever had. Because she made it all about the figure. She made it about the thing. And so she learned a really valuable lesson, because there was no parade, there was no fireworks, there was no marching band. The figure just changed in the bank account and nothing else did. And the lesson was she made it about the figure. But let's just talk about money for a moment. What if we had made it about, what if we had had a clearer vision? Go, what's possible as a result of that? What lifestyle have you got if you've got £1 million in the bank? What time freedom have you got? Where are you eating? What are you wearing? Are you living in the same house? What adventures are you going on? Where are you traveling in the world? What checks are you cutting for your favorite causes to go, hey, I can write a big check, go and do some more good, right? How can you reinvest that to make more wealth for generations wealth for your family, or invest it in your business so you can make an even bigger difference out there in the world? Like, if my friend had made it about all of those things, do you think she would have had the empty feeling? She wouldn't have, would she? But I'll tell you another little thing about money. Phil knows a lot about money, being into accountancy and tax and all that kind of stuff. Here's the thing about money. All those things that I just described, You don't need £1 million in the bank to do that. You will experience that lifestyle far before £1 million. And that's the beauty of it, because suddenly it starts coming real. The money is an enabler. So the more money you have, maybe the grander the experience is, or the longer the experience is. But you can start doing all those things way before £1 million. And when that happens, like, it's the best feeling in the world. Because then you see what's even more possible. But when we just make it about the thing, it's just an empty number. It doesn't mean anything. So does that bring that to life for you? Yeah. This is why clarity is important, but it's not the clarity people think. Right? Don't make it about the thing. And we're doing it for whatever you want to work on now, but use this, whatever you want to work on in the future, you come back to these steps and you see that depth. So I can see some more writing, but are we good? Phil, you good with that? Understand that clarity?
Yeah, I've got some clients who have got lots of money and they're not happy. And I say to them, enjoy it along the way.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
get bogged down in the business, making more money, and
Yeah.
they're not enjoying it along the way.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple now in their 70s and they've got lots of regrets. Yeah, they kept building up their money building it, and now they got ailments and they can't enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I do see it. I do
Yeah.
see it. I
Yeah.
do see it.
Absolutely. But yeah, I always say don't chase the money. It's not about the money. The money is an enabler. On its own, it doesn't do anything. It just literally doesn't do anything. We use it to have experiences and make a difference out there to our life, to our family's life, our friends' lives, our community, the business. It's to be used in that way. But yeah, a lot of people, they they leave it, and they I'm going to retire. When I retire, I'll have this kind of lifestyle, and then the ailments start kicking in and the illnesses start kicking in. When I had my car crash 2 years ago, all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of stuff, and I still can't, because I'm still recovering. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I love to do, like passionate stuff, outdoorsy stuff, I can't do. And I tell you what, when you can't do something, that lights a fire like no, you suddenly realize just what's important to you. I'm still of the mindset that I'm going to get to full recovery and I'm going to experience those things by hook or by crook. But like you just said, Phil, though, if you've left it till your 70s, your 80s, and you're now literally not able to, and it's unlikely that you're going to have the health to,
Yeah.
that comes back to what I talked about the regret, right? Sometimes we have to feel the regret now so we don't feel it in the future. And we got to feel that and go, well, actually, I don't want that. So I'm going to do something about it now. But yeah, we're caught up in these things. So that, my friends, that's clarity. We all good with clarity? You've got plenty of clarity. At this point, let's just sense check. Have you got more honesty and more clarity, and maybe even a little bit more passion than you had when you came in about the thing? Have we elevated it a bit, right? Yeah. I love Simon. He's still writing all these thoughts.
You keep on giving me stuff to write about, you mother.
I know. No, well done. So great. So, and again, let's just sense check this. Can you see the difference between a newsletter that says, hey, here's the 4 steps, or me doing a one-way Facebook training going, here are the steps, to actually us then being able to afford the time and space to be able to do this, getting out of the river of life to work on our life, right? So I'm glad that we're getting that benefit right now. So let's crack on for the time. So we've still got time, that's fine. So the next, to shake it off a little bit, have a little drink, because there's more emotion coming. The great thing is you've got a starting point. You've got the fire that's going, right, okay, this is going to launch me. I've now got a really clear vision, a passionate vision that I'm drawn to. This is exciting. I'm going to have those things working in tandem to help me. Brilliant. The third step is passion. Okay. The third step is passion. So honesty, clarity, passion. And you might say, Martin, for crying out loud, we've had a load of emotion with honesty. We've had a load of emotion with clarity. What the heck do we need passion for? The passion is your deep, meaningful why. right? It is your deep, meaningful why. Why do you want to do this in the first place? And that is different to some of the honesty feelings, and it's different to the excitement of what the compelling future looks like. One of my mentors, he's a bit extreme, but he says you need to be disturbed in the current situation to take action, and you need a compelling vision to draw you to it. So it's kind of that. We've got that. So what's this passion thing? It is about your deep, meaningful why. Why do you want to do it? And what I'm going to encourage you to do is do one of my favorite frameworks. So we're going to do a framework within a framework, and it's called 7 levels deep. Okay, so 7 levels deep is where you are, and I like to keep things simple. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's because when we keep things simple, we're going to actually take action on them. When somebody comes along and says, here's my 57 steps to success, you ain't going to get past step 3. Let's be honest, right? So I like to keep things simple. This framework is really powerful when you do it, right? So we're going to do it now. 7 levels deep. I want you to, and at its essence, it is literally you're going to ask yourself why 7 times. So you're going to go, why do I want to do this thing? Change this thing, improve this thing, experience this thing, achieve this thing, right? Why? And you're going to come up with an answer. You're going to write that down right now. Why do I want to do it? And the first answers you give, it's going to be a logical answer. It's going to be probably off the cuff. Like, yeah, I know why I want to do this. Great, cool. And then you're going to look at that answer and you're going to go, why is that important? And then you're going to write that answer down. And I don't know if you can see a pattern, but then you're going to look at that answer and you're going to go, oh, why is that important? And you're going to do that 7 times. It ain't 3 times deep, 3 levels deep. When you think, oh, that's a good answer, or 4, or 5, or even 6, go 7. And the reason is we're trying to get out of our head and all the logical stuff and get into our heart and go, what really does this mean to me? And I want to bring it to life with that fitness example I gave you. So the dad, right? We did this exercise. Here's where we went with this. And this is the power of it when you do it. So I want you to do it. Listen to me rambling on, but do the 7 levels deep. So this dad did it, and I said, right, okay, so why do you want to do this? And you've got that massive vision, it's amazing, right? Why do you want to do it? And said, well, because I can't keep up with them in the garden. I get out of breath. It's ridiculous. So it's like, okay, that's fine. That's a good starting point. So why is that important though? Why is it important that you're able to run around the garden and not get out of breath? Well, because I'm just not connecting with my children. I'm not having the experience with them because I'm worried about my own health. I want to be able to play with them and not be thinking constantly, oh my God, my back hurts, my arms hurt, my legs hurt, my lungs are bursting. I want to actually be concentrating on their experience, not my experience. It's like, oh, that's good. Right, okay, that's good. Okay, so why is that important? And he's like, because Martin, I'm just not connecting with my kid. I'm not being the dad that I want to be. I'm better than this. I want to be the active dad. I want that active lifestyle I've described. I'm not being the dad that I want to be. Right, we're 3 levels deep, and he doesn't want to be the dad. He's not being the dad that he wants to be. Going from I want to get fit, and going I can't catch up with them in the garden. All of a sudden we're going, I'm not the dad that I want to be. Oh, hello, that hits home. Cut a long story short, because we kept going. By the time we got to 6 and 7, the conversation was, I don't want my children to have the same relationship and connection that I had with my dad, because my dad worked a lot, was always exhausted, abused his health, and he was always sleeping in the chair. He wasn't paying attention. When we were playing, he would never play with us. All I wanted was 3 minutes. I'd have given it the world for 3 minutes for him to kick a ball around with me, but he didn't. He was always so exhausted. And I don't want my children to have that. I know what that feels like. I don't want that. I want to be there for them. I want to have that lifestyle. I want to create the memories, the positive memories through the stuff that we do together that I didn't get to do with my dad. And it turns out his dad passed away way before his time. I never met his children. I get goosebumps and like I get emotional just talking about this. And this isn't even my story. But he's got all of that. That's why. And so when you then apply that and go, that's why he wants to have the relationship right now. But that's also why he wants to, when they're teenagers and they're growing up, he wants to go on adventures. But now you've also tapped into why he wants to be that grandpa, that granddad, because his dad never got to be that granddad for his children. He's seeing this, that level of why. Again, do you think that somebody with that level of why is going to make it happen or not? They're going to make it happen, right? Doesn't matter what they got to do, they're going to make it happen because it's bigger than them. And it's pure emotion. He's come out of his head and gone, this. So this is why. This is passion. And you can that is different to why I want to, some of the discomfort right now. It's different to the vision excitement. We've gone deeper. We've got a story there that if it's raining, if it's cold, if it's wet, windy, you haven't slept well, you're not feeling it today, you feel a bit awkward, you feel a bit uncomfortable, you're going to carry on regardless. So those people that give up with consistency, so they make it maybe a bit of progress, but then fall off with the consistency. Do you think he's going to fall off with consistency? Hell no, he didn't fall off with consistency. He just kept going. So it's the passion is the bit that helps you get from the honesty part to the clarity part, because it's a journey. We've talked about the journey. We need a deep, passionate why. Otherwise, the journey, you're more likely to give up. If you, that. Have we got a deep level? Have we gone 7 levels deep? Have we got something that anchors in some? Oh, hello. We got. I like that, Nick. Ooh. So is there a deeper feeling than when you came in? You've identified something that, actually, this is kind of stirs the soul a little bit. And again, I don't know what it is for you. You might have something really big and ambitious, or it might be something small, but you use this no matter what. What's the why? If you haven't got a deep enough why the heck are you doing it? Yeah, it might be exciting or whatever, but why are you doing it? Really? Honestly, is it just to fill a gap? Is it to fill a void? Is it for distraction? Or is this actually going to mean something to you? Is it going to make a material difference to you, your life, your quality of life, your family's life, whatever it is for you? We're trying to kind of tap into that. I love the fact that Simon's still writing good stuff, and you're doing some more writing, Nick. And take a glass. Just give you a moment. 7 levels deep, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. And it's powerful stuff. It really is. Good stuff. Give you a moment. Really anchor it in. Because the beautiful thing is you get to that deeper level, the 7th level. That is obviously that is igniting the rocket fuel. But you've also stacked 6 other reasons why you're doing it, right? You're just stacking reason upon reason. Go, look at the reasons I've got for making this happen. again, do you think somebody who's making a New Year's resolution has got anywhere near any of this, right? They haven't got, honest, at the end of the day, they haven't got the depth of clarity, and they sure as heck haven't got a deep, passionate why, because if they did, they wouldn't have, 80% of people wouldn't have gone by the wayside at the second Friday of January. And it's not difficult. It's, you know, in this really complicated world that we seem to have created, right? I think sometimes we feel like we need an over-engineered and complicated solution, but it's really not. Especially if we want to get stuff done, we want to make things happen. I hope I'm showing you that actually it's not about that. It's simple stuff, but you've got to go deep. You've got to be willing to actually do the work. So have we got our 7 levels deep? Are we good? All makes sense? Any questions at this point? No. We've got more honesty, more clarity, more passion than we did when we came in. Sense check. Give me a nod. Yeah, we're good. Good. Excellent. Shake it off, have a drink. Because now we're going to do step 4. Okay, step 4. Real simple. Just give you a moment. Okay. Step 4 is support. Okay. Step 4 is support. So you know you've got your starting point, you've got your destination, and what I would actually just jot in with destination. Destinations change over time. So the closer you get to the destination, more opportunities. You're a different person. You've leveled up a little bit. There's new things that you're observing, and as a result, new destinations pop up. It's like I say about the river of life. The bigger and the better the boat that you're building to go down the river of life, you're higher up in the water, so you see more opportunities and experiences. Right? This is what this is about. And actually, before support, what I will say, because I meant to say this earlier, and so to kind of bring what we've just talked about together. When we have this kind of level of clarity on honesty, clarity, and passion, it kind of rewires our brains, right? So I know Nick was fascinated with when I talked about the reticular activating system in one of my lives. And this is that part of the brain we call RAS, right? Let's just call it RAS. It's the part of the brain that when you buy a new car and it's in Arctic blue and it's brand new and you've never seen an Arctic blue car in your life, and it's like, oh my God, it's going to be so unique, it's amazing. You drive it at the showroom and within 3 minutes you've seen 5 cars at Arctic blue, and you're like, what the hell come from, right? They were already there, right? But now that it means something to you, now that you've got some emotion attached to this thing, it starts noticing it. So it's going to notice all the Arctic blue cars out there now. But here's the thing. Most people, their RAS is switched on to the stuff that doesn't serve us. It's switched on to all the drama and the nonsense and all the controversy and all the craziness that's going out there in the world. And they're absorbing all of that. And the more they absorb of that, the more their brain is going, their RAS is kicking in going, oh, he likes this. Let's get some more of this. Let's notice more of this stuff. And how does that make you feel, right? Doesn't make you feel very in control of your life. It doesn't make you feel like, you know, it's a wonderful world to be living in. And you're just focusing on all of that stuff. But the beautiful thing is we could switch that up. It can be used to serve us too. So when we're clear on the thing that we want and we've got all this emotion that's attached to it and we've got this deep meaningful why, it means something so much to us. Our RAS is going to start going, oh, this is really important. It's going to spot opportunities. It's going to spot conversations. It's going to spot experiences. It's going to spot things that are going to help you to make it come true because it now knows it's important to you. But most people are using this in a way that doesn't serve them. But all we've got to be is aware of it and go, if we've got deep enough about this stuff, hey, brain, do your thing. Notice stuff that I didn't notice before that might make this possible. It's like when I'm not sure if you were in the room, Nick, with our strategic planning, and I stood up and said, one of the things I'm going to be doing in the future is I'm going to be doing some multi-day retreats and events that are in Hawaii and Colorado, right? The two places I'm going to be doing them, and they're going to be very different type of experiences. Platinum Partners is what it's going to be. Brilliant, right? And I just stood up and went, I have no clue how I was going to do it. This is what I'm thinking at the moment. This is where I'm heading. I want you to know that I'm not there yet, but this is where I'm heading. This is what I'm going to be creating. And afterwards, one of the people in the room came up to me and said, are you serious about Colorado and Hawaii? And I said, yeah. He said, oh, because one of my friends lives in Colorado and their son and daughter's gone to Hawaii University. Maybe I could get you in touch with them and they might know the lay of the land and they might know some contacts. Yes, please. This is clarity and sharing, and my Raz going, oh, right, okay, who might be good? Their Raz was kicking in, going, oh, this is important. And all of a sudden, an opportunity that if I hadn't have had that clarity, if I hadn't had that vision, if I hadn't had the courage to share, I wouldn't have those contacts. But this is then leaps and bounds versus me doing this by myself, right? This is the power of what we've just been doing. So when we come on to support, it taps into what I talked about with Jim Rohn. Who can help you? This thing that, whatever it is that you want to work on, who can help you? Who's already been there? Who's already done it? Who could keep you on track? Because there's kind of two different types of support. There are people that have literally done it. So it's like, can you tell me the steps and condense their decades into hours for me so I can figure it out? And then there are other people that they may not have done exactly what you've done, but they've got the skills and the knowledge to keep you on track with it. And I role model this, right? In my life, this is what works for me. So and I know Simon and Nick will testify to this stuff. Every week I have a call with an accountability coach, 15 to 30 minutes with my accountability coach to keep me accountable. Here's my big picture. Here's what I said I'm going to be working on. Am I working on it? Not in some corporate performance management way, but in a really, in a caring way to go, how's it going? What are we doing? And sometimes it's just about a sounding board because I can get in my head. And I need that on a weekly basis. And every 2 weeks, I have a deeper session with my business coach. And business coach, these are my life coach as well, right? We talk about everything, but we go deeper every 2 weeks. So I can get out of my head, so we can plan things and get some more clarity. Or if I've got a new crazy idea, see what referrals there might be that he might be able to help me with. And then every quarter we get together in person, right? Like an in-person mastermind where we can hug and cry and laugh and share our plans and review our plans and review what we're going to do in the next quarter and what's the highlights and the lowlights. And I role model this stuff. It works for me. So you've got to find the person that can support you with the thing that you're going to work on, right? And maybe they're in the room. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's somebody else. It doesn't matter who it is, but I just want you to know who it is. And following on from what I just said, there are some people that you can learn from a distance. So it's good to know these people. So for example, like Tony Robbins, one of my mentors, he's the #1 life and business strategist on the planet, right? There's nobody that's impacted more lives than he has, right? And he's been doing it for decades. But if you want to have a one-to-one session with Tony, if you want 3 in a year, it costs you $1 million and he's got a 5-year waiting list. So the chances of you having personal one-to-ones with Tony are slim to none. But he's got loads of stuff out there and programs and events, and it's not all paid, right? There's paid stuff and there's free stuff. You can learn so much from him, just like I did, right? So you can identify people that, right, who are the people that are playing in the area that I need to get better at? What skills and capabilities do I need to work on? And who have got those? Who can I learn from? Some of that's remote. So I like to have that. But what I can also say is it's the personal support that really makes a difference. The people that you can actually talk to, see and talk to talk it through with. That's the support that really makes the difference on the ground. Because they're the ones week in, week out, or every other week, or every month they give you that time and space to get out of your head, to work things through, to figure it out, to help you go forward and what the steps are. And a really important part of their role is to help you celebrate the journey. It's what we were just saying, Phil. You've got to celebrate the journey along the route. It's not just about the destination. Like if you're waiting to just celebrate the achievement, it means your life is going to be just a few sporadic achievements and celebrations. But you've inched forward, celebrate. It's why in the Extraordinary Life family, every Friday, I encourage everybody to review their week and go, hey, what progress you made this week? Let's celebrate that. No matter if it's inched forward or leaps and bounds. What are you grateful for? But when you've got somebody by your side, they can really help you with that, because sometimes we get lost. And sometimes, you know what, we've made so much progress, but we don't give ourselves credit. And I love doing that as a coach, reminding people just how far they've come. Because they're in the moment. We get in the moment. Our current existence is like, this is my life right now. But you forget what your life was like 6 months ago, you know, and how far you've come. It's like sometimes we need a reminder. So this support is really important. So, and what we've got some time, I encourage you, if you haven't already, I'm going to encourage you right now. Before I encourage you, what I would say about support, and we mentioned this earlier, if you have support versus doing it yourself, is it going to take you longer? Right? It's going to take you longer trying to figure it out yourself. I don't know about you, but I do not have the time, or quite frankly, the patience, to read tons of articles, watch loads of videos, and try and figure it out and read loads of books to figure it out myself. If I can go speak to somebody and go, can you give me the first step that I need to take at least? Right? I'm going to take that because I want to go faster. If you get help, you're more likely to have less frustration and pain and suffering. You are, right? Because you're going to go, that's the proven step. So we're going down the river of life and somebody's already gone down the bit of river that you're going down, and it goes, avoid that rock. And here's how to navigate those rapids. Here's to keep your head when it gets a little stormy. They're able to do that. They're giving you the breadcrumbs. They're giving you the map. It's like, let's have that. And they might have had to figure that out over 10 years, but they can condense that into hours for you. So it's that as well. So it's the benefit of being able to have some support and to tap into that. And what I would say is, I'm going to challenge you now, if you haven't already. I'm going to challenge you to reach out to the person that you've written down. You might have several people, right? But there's going to be somebody that could help. And a lot of people find it difficult to reach out. They don't quite know what to say, or it feels a bit awkward. So I'm going to give you some words that you can use now and in the future, okay? So here are my wise words about keeping it simple when you want to go and ask for some help. Hi, Bob. It might not be Bob for you, but let's go with Bob. Hi, Bob. I'm working on X, right? Fill in the blank. Hi, Bob. I'm working on X. I think I could learn a lot from you. Would you be open to a conversation? Hi, Bob. I'm working on blank or blanks. I think I could learn a lot from you. Would you be open to a conversation? That is all you've got to say to begin with. And I know we talked about rejection in Walt Disney's story, right? But this is important to you. If you have to send that message out to several people, you're going to do it, right? Because it's important to you. But here's what I've experienced. The people that are worth their weight in gold, the people that genuinely support and help people, they ain't going to turn around and go, no, what are you talking about? I don't share my secrets. They're more likely to help you. They might be able to have a conversation with you. They might have a membership. They might have a free group. They might have a program. They might be able to do some coaching, or they might just be able to have a coffee with you for an hour and just chew the cud and see what's what and give you some top tips. And those are the sorts of people that we want to surround ourselves with, like the naysayers and the people that just hold it to their chest and I'm not going to share. The chances are you're not going to be reaching out to those people because you already kind of sense that these people can help you. But hi, Bob, I'm working on this. I think I could learn a lot from you. Be open to a conversation. You'd be amazed at how that opens, funnily enough, conversations. But most people trip over the words, they don't know, and then they don't reach out. And again, this is the benefit of doing this. I'm encouraging you to do this now, right? You can send them an email, a WhatsApp, LinkedIn message, Facebook Messenger, a text, whatever. I encourage you to do it right now. I'm stalling. I encourage you to do it right now. You don't have to do it, but you're either doing it now or you're doing it afterwards. But here's what I know. After this, you're really busy. You've got lots to do today. What if you came out of this 90 minutes going, oh, got the honesty, got the clarity, got the passion, I'm like fired up, and I've reached out to the person that can help me. So by this time next week, I've probably had a conversation or I know where I'm going with it, and they've already helped me. Oh, that is making it happen. And whilst you ponder that and maybe take me up on my challenge, it reminds me of one of my favorite motivational talks is A Life Worth Remembering by Tom Bilyeu. A Life Worth Remembering. And one of the messages in that, and it's like, it's got so many messages that are literally pillars in my life. It's so powerful. One of the things he says is maybe what the most important thing is what we think about ourselves when we're by ourselves. What we think about ourselves when we're by ourselves. Because when we're in a dark room all by ourselves with our own thoughts, what do we think about ourselves? Are we the kind of person that makes a promise to ourselves and follows through? Or are we somebody who comes up with an intention or a promise and maybe doesn't follow through or finds an excuse, finds reasons? And for me, bonus material, I find making a promise to yourself one of the most powerful things you can do. People say, share what you're doing to hold you account. I think one of the most powerful things is that you hold yourself to account, that you set the standard. And when you're by yourself, thinking about yourself, are you the sort of person that has a good idea and follows through or not? Because the only person that's got to live with that is you. When you don't share that, it's on you. So I think about stepping into the sort of person that, when I say I'm going to make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. And I've got that Walt Disney that philosophy, and I've got the tools to make me help me make it happen. And whether I've reached out right now or not, I am still going to be the person that reached out, because you're the one that'll have to go to bed tonight and go, did I or didn't I reach out to that person? Martin did encourage me. And then the motivation, the energy from this might fade a little bit. And then it might be next week and you still haven't reached out. I don't want that for you. I'm laboring the point. I'm stalling. I'm giving you time. But this is why people who make it happen hold themselves, not to expectation. Expectations are, that's a world of hurt. But they hold themselves to a standard. And they say, hey, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to do it. So that's support. How are we feeling about that? You've got your person? Yeah? Awesome. Awesome. You got your person, Simon?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. What do we need to do what do we need to do to find your person?
I'm going to try and find my person.
Do you know a person?
Because I had several people written down.
Yeah.
But then when I actually think about what I'm going to be doing, I think, none of those have done what I want to do.
Cool.
So they're good and supportive people,
yeah,
but they aren't the person that I need to reach out.
Yeah. Love it.
So at the moment, no, I don't know where that person is, but I've got a plan to actually try and find that person.
Excellent. Excellent.
And I will be doing something that I've never done before.
That's the spirit.
When I'm actually watching YouTube videos on this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that person is ringing bells with me. I'm going to actually message them.
Brilliant. And now you've got a little framework that you can use to message them really simply.
Yes, yes.
Not overcomplicate.
And we'll see how it happens.
Brilliant.
And yes, I will be held accountable on that one. You can ask me
I'm
how many people I've reached out to, and hopefully next week I'll be able to give you a positive answer.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well done. You've thought it through. Again, the time and space to go, right, actually, it's these people or maybe not these people. Right. But what's my action plan going to be to get the support? Not put it off and go, well, I don't know who it's going to be, and then don't do anything with it. You know, so you can, like you've said, you can look out there on the old interweb, right? And go find some people that maybe might fit the bill. You can also do what I did when we were in strategic planning, and I shared my vision and go, maybe the person you might not, they might not be able to help specifically with your thing, but they might know somebody. So who are the well-connected people that you know that you could share what you're going to do with, and then go, do you know anybody that might be able to help me? So sometimes it's not about knowing straight away who the person is. Sometimes it is, often it is, but sometimes we've got to go, right, who do I already know that could help me find the person? Because again, you don't want to just do it by yourself, because it might take you ages, right? Try and use other people just like I did and go, oh, yeah, Colorado, Hawaii, yeah, cool, right? Didn't even know that existed. So find those people. Hopefully that's helped. You know, bear that in mind again for future, right? Sometimes it's not about the person, it's about who could help you find the person. Brilliant. Are you good, Phil?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I've got a few people I need to speak to.
A few people.
And you get busy, and then you put them in your diary at the beginning of the month, and they're still there in a month's time. Still got them 3 or 4 people to speak to, and then you get busy again. Then they move along. So yeah, you did hit a chord with 2 or 3 people I should talk to.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and some of it's personal as well. Where a chap who I tried to help with his illness, and he's been nasty to me, and he's in my diary, and I should pick the phone up to him, ask how he is. But he was quite nasty. But some of it's he's got a medical thing, and he can turn, and he made me feel uncomfortable in my own skin last time out, and I haven't made that contact. I should do. And I go to pick the phone up, and then I leave it another week, and it's been a while now. But that was more personal than business. It's someone I've got to know, and yeah, it's when it gets personal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? Because nobody should make you feel bad in your own skin, right? There's something well off with that relationship if somebody's doing that, you know.
And I still feel for him. I text him Happy Christmas and all that. So I haven't seen him since November.
Holding yourself to a standard to say, you know what, I care about people, I care about the people. And sometimes people do things, say things they don't mean. They go through rough times and tough times.
Yeah,
but I'm still going to be the person that says, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, because he needs some help. He hasn't got much company anymore. His wife's gone, and gone, divorced and all that. But he needs someone like me. But he turned on me last time. I've been told by people and friends, you got to move on. And but he's still in the brain where he needs someone to talk to. And this is a personal thing.
Yeah.
But he's in my diary every month to ring, and end of Feb now, and I haven't spoken to him since November. And yeah, but that's
sometimes a very simple message that says, hey, I was thinking about you, how you doing, is enough to break that ice.
Yeah. And then I said to him, I'll be in touch, and I haven't.
Yeah.
So when I go to make the effort to give a call, so that stops me. And he's never apologized. That's my problem. He's never apologized for. He knew he was out of order. Yeah, and but it's in his makeup as well. And he hates the world because he's got a disability, and it's one of them. But it's personal, not business. It's but it's still.
Can I say you sound the most amazing friend, and he is so fortunate to have you. The way you're speaking about him, even though he's turned on you and given you're coming across. I've never met you before, but you come across to me as someone with the most amazing values and sensitivities to people around you. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
thank you
want
for
to add,
saying
I
that.
think you're an amazing friend to him, really, to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
sitting in there with him, you know.
we go and have a meal, have a laugh, and then he turns. It's part of his makeup. He can turn as well, but I think of him. He lives on his own now in a flat, and he's got people around. He's got in a sort of care home, but with his own room. He's not. Half of me wants to go and see him tomorrow, and I go past his road sometimes. And I should have turned down, but I don't. And then it's in the head. Then for the rest of the day, I should have gone in. People are saying to me, "You've done your best. You can't help him, but he does need support." But you know, yeah, he's yeah, it's about personal work. It's personal, but it sticks in your head, and until you tick the box and get it out of your head, so you can
It
move
stays
on.
there, and
It sticks in there, and that hinders everything else. Then
it does.
it
It affects everything.
pulls you back. It drags you back.
Yeah, and importantly, it grows because I've been there. Right, somebody sent me a message, and then I didn't respond on the same day, and then 3 days go by, and then a week goes by, and then 2 weeks go by, and now I feel really awkward because it's in the back of my head going, oh, I've got to get back to that person. And now it feels like this really big thing because I could have nipped it in the bud straight away. So the longer we leave these things, even though it's really the same, it's just reaching out and going, hey, how's it going? It for us, there's all that emotion and stuff which ties us up, and it's taking energy and time and thinking away from what we should
energy,
be thinking.
energy, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe just like real quick, just send him a message, just have some contact, and then just see what comes back. And at least because then all that, like, it goes because you've done it. And they go, you know, and who knows what's going to come back, but you can deal with that once you've done it. That makes sense. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Phil. You know, thank you.
No, yeah, it's good to share.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I love doing this, because we can share like that and support. And thanks, Nick, for giving that support, right? And because that means a lot, right? We can tell from doing something like this, we can tell the values of people very quickly. And that's beautiful. That's why I love this kind of thing. Now, have you got an extra 5 minutes? An extra 5 minutes? You afford me an extra 5 minutes?
Yeah.
So I know we're now at the time. So I appreciate the time. Is there any other questions that you wanted to share, or anything, any queries, anything that's not clear? No, we're good. So if I sense checked with you and said, look, again, more honesty, more clarity, more passion, more certainty about where you're going to go in terms of support, have we met the criteria? Have we done what we set out to do? And have we done it in a way that you can see this is different to, you know, doing it in other ways, right? I'm so pleased because you've put the work in, right? I'm facilitating this, but you're the ones that put the work in, and you've got results in the room, and you've got this to do whatever it is that you're working on. You know, the next steps for this is, well, you go and speak to the person that's going to support you. You get planning what you're going to do. You take action, and you celebrate the journey, right? It's as simple as that. But if you've locked these things in, imagine the conversation you can now have with the person that's going to support you. Because now you can say, this is why, this is the vision, and this is what it means to me. And it's like they can then get behind you, and they can remind you of that when maybe things go a little bit wobbly, because they do. You know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So that's, you know, I'm really pleased, and you've put the work in. And what I'm going to really quickly do, let me just really quickly, I want to put together a visual for you. Okay, so visualize this. Anybody like visual learner, like to see it in a picture, right? I'm just going to do this really quickly for you to bring together what we've talked about, right? We talked, you know, just under 90 minutes. Here's what we've been talking about. So can you see the whiteboard? Everyone see the whiteboard?
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone see it? Right. So we started with honesty. And that's our current situation. Yeah. You see that? Everyone see that? Good. I'm seeing the nods. Brilliant. We then had clarity, which is our future vision, right? Here we go. We got that. Brilliant. If we're being fancy, we might put a, I know, there you go. Let's put that around that like that. Fancy. It's a bit tricky. Oh, look at that. There we go. How about that? That's off. I can't be doing with that. Right. Here you go. And what we said is that we also then needed the passion, right? And I said the passion is the thing that keeps you going. It's the momentum. We need that. And if we were making this fancy, we'd probably put a lovely heart around that, wouldn't we? Look at that. There you go. Right. So this is the journey that we've just been talking about. You want to get from honesty to clarity. The passion is the thing that's going to keep you going. It's going to keep the consistency of action. When it's uncomfortable, when it's not working out, when it's taking longer, the passion is the thing that's going to keep going, the deep, meaningful why. And then what we've also got is then we've got that nice person that's going to be helping you, or a group of people. And sometimes an individual, sometimes it's a group, sometimes it's remote, sometimes it's in person. But what we got this person. And they're going to help us. And what they do is they help us break it all up into little steps, because going from honesty to clarity can be quite the journey. But he or she or they are just going to break it up and go, hey, here are the steps. And one of the things I've learned, especially with my coaches, I can get ahead of myself. I don't know if you've ever got ahead of yourself. And I'm worrying about step 6. And I get brought back to, whoa, Martin, we're on step 1, right? We'll worry about step 6 when we're on step 6. But right now, take the first step and we can break it up. And these steps that you've got, those are the things that you're going to be inching forward on. Those are the things you're going to be celebrating along the way, right? So this very simple and, dare I say, crude diagram, if you want to draw that yourself, that basically sums up everything that we've just been talking about. It's your current situation, it's your future, it's the journey along the way, it's the deep, meaningful why, and it's the person, people that can help you along that way. That makes sense? Yeah. And being a visual learner, I like to kind of at least put that up there for you, in case that helps kind of just summarize what we're doing. And sometimes it's like I've got loads of notes here, Martin. I've written lots of stuff down, but what was it again? Oh, it was just these 4 things. So I'll leave that up because I think Nick might be drawing it. There is one final thing. I'm going to wrap it up. There's one final thing I'd like to share with you. Okay. I think we're all agreed you got value from today. Really appreciate your time. If there's any kind words that you can use, share, whether you want to message me, put it in the Extraordinary Life community, put it in the chat, whatever it is. If there's any words that you would describe your experience today and the value that you got from it to help other people that might be interested, I'd be really appreciate it, right? Because you're the ones that experienced this. And a lot of people, they won't come because is it going to be worth it? It's free. But I hope you've seen that this isn't, I am giving you a teaser. This is a self-contained mastermind where we've done the work together. There are no other steps, right? These are the 4 steps, and now go and do it, right? So the final thing that I'd like to share with you, let me know when I can put this diagram down. Can I put the diagram down? We good? Yeah, you got it? I'll just put that down. There, I can see your face is bigger now, see? So, just noticed I put the, yeah, it puts a little link in with the whiteboard. That's interesting. Right, the final thing that I'd love to share with you is this. I'm going to wrap it up really quickly. I'm going to be doing this every month. Not necessarily this Make It Happen mastermind, but I'm going to be doing a 90-minute mastermind every month to help people get out of the river of life and work on their life. And every month we'll either pick a personal development framework like we've done today, a high performance framework, a model, a strategy, and do the work and work it through and apply it to our lives and have time for questions, have conversation, interact with it. Also within that, 4 times a month, 4 times a year, we'll do a review session. So a little bit like for Nick and Simon strat planning, but on your life. We're going to use a life coaching model that then we can look back and go, right, last quarter, what's good, what's not so good, what have we learned, and what can we take forward to the next quarter, and do a review session. And then we'll do the sessions where we look at personal development frameworks to help you go further, faster, and be more confident. You know, a lot of what I do is about confidence and belief. And also at times when you come together like that as a community, you find themes and topics that are on most people's minds. And so what we can do what I'd like to call like next level masterminding, which is where you all get together and instead of going through something, you go, here's the topic, let's talk about it. And so you get the collective wisdom in the room. And so you go, what have you tried? What haven't you tried? You know, what works, what doesn't work? How are we feeling about this? And we support each other. So like we did today in supporting each other, actually get the results that we want. That's next level masterminding. And I just want to create a space every month, 90 minutes, where we can do that. Either work on a framework, review, or look at a topic and let's all get together. And I'm calling it the success circle, right? Because it's about your success, whatever that means to you and in whatever area of life that you're focusing on at that time, but it's about your success. And we will cover personal stuff and business stuff. But a lot of it is about mindset, if I'm honest. And it's a success circle. So it's your success, but it's us working together as a circle, working together as a team. And I've created a community off of social media for it. So it's on my own private community off of all the distractions where we can go and have conversations about the masterminds. It's where the replays will go of each mastermind. And then we can carry on the discussion because things crop up after masterminds and we have more questions and queries or progress. But unlike the Extraordinary Life family, it's not about daily content and all that kind of stuff. You've already got that. This is about connection. This is about partnership. This is about collaboration. This is about supporting each other with what we're doing and doing it at a next level of immersion. And so that's what I've created. And you're the first people to know about this because people who come to this have experienced it. This is literally what we're doing. This is a self-contained mastermind. I haven't said this to go, here's the teaser. And if you join this thing over here, that's the real stuff. No, this is what we're going to do. Because I don't believe in that. And I'm keeping it really crazy for founding members, £49 a month, which is ridiculous. But I just want to get people started. I want to get people involved. I want people to be collaborating, working together, spending that time out of the river of life every month, learning the kind of frameworks that have just radically improved my life and how I look at life. And I'd love to share them with you. I'd love to review things with you, and I'd love to work together as a collective to do that. So I'm going to I'll drop you the link to that after this. If you're interested in that, it would be an absolute privilege and a pleasure to serve you. It really would, and it really shouldn't be inconsistent with anything else that you're doing and any other support that you're getting. I just want to offer that to you, and I'm really excited about it. Because this is that next level, like we've just experienced. We get results doing it this way, and I want to give as many people that possibility. But you're one of the first people to know about it. So there you go. I'm going to share that with you. And other than that, I want to say a massive thank you. I know we've gone a little bit over time, so I apologize for that. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for putting in the work, and I'm wishing you all the success, whatever it is that you're working on. I really hope that it comes to fruition and you've now got the fire in your belly to actually go make it happen. And you know where I am if you need to run anything past me or you want to sense check anything with me, you know where I am to support you. And I will do that for you. So thank you so much. Thanks for
Yeah,
showing up.
thank you, Martin. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks,
Nice,
Simon.
nice
Thank
to
you,
meet you all.
guys.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
And you guys. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
lovely. Lovely to
Brilliant.
spend some time.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. And any
See you soon.
kind
Bye.
words you can share,
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Well done.
Cheerio.